Hi guys, welcome back to the channel with Steph. Today we're here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach to see if it's plus size friendly.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of comments of you guys saying thank you for the one that we did at Alton Towers, because a lot of yous and a few of yous that we've met as well while we've been around the park have said that sometimes you find it a bit hard sometimes going to parks and being a bit self-conscious of getting on the rides.
Definitely, so obviously I'm a big person myself, so I give you a guide and my tips of how to get on the rides. Unfortunately here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach I don't have any test seats on the ride, so as we go along I'll give you my tips. Yeah,
and I'll try and film Steph getting on the ride so you can still kind of see how she fits in the seats if I can, but obviously if it gets a bit busy at times I might not be able to, but I'll try my best.
And also we've got photos from previous visits as well, so we'll put them in and you can see how the restraint does sit on me.
Yeah, definitely.
So come with us for a fun-filled day.
Right, so as you can see when it comes to the Grand National, there's a seat belt that you have to put on first, which is quite long and has a lot of give. And you also then have to pull down a lap bar, which also has quite a lot of give, because as long as it's clicked down at least once, you're fine and good to go. When it comes to the Big Dipper and Nickelodeon Streak, the seats are the same as the Grand National with like the width of them, because there's that little border bit in the middle to make it two separate seats rather than one big seat like they used to be. So they can be a bit tight in a way of sitting in the seat, but when it comes to the restraints being pulled down on you, because it's one full bar for the two people, that's got loads of give to it, because like I said with the Grand National, it's a case of as long as it's clicked down at least once, you're good to go. So when it comes to the dark rides, as you can see here with River Caves, there's no restraint whatsoever, it's just a case of getting in and out of the boat. When it comes to Wallace and Gromit, it's a simple lap bar, but it's just a case of sitting down in the seat and pulling the restraint down to yourselves. With Alice in Wonderland and the Ghost Train, they both just have a seatbelt, so it's just a case of clipping the seatbelt together, off you go. With the steeplechase, the restraint is just a seatbelt that you've got to clip into place, and it is quite long, so it's got a lot of give. It's just, for me personally, I find it harder getting onto the horse more than trying to fit the restraint. When it comes to the Revolution, it's just a simple over-the-shoulder restraint, but it's got a seatbelt that's attached to it as well that you've also got to clip in place. Steph always pulls the seatbelt to its fullest length, so it's easier to clip it into place, and then obviously once you're clipped in, you're good to go and enjoy the ride. With the big one, you've got two restraints, you've got a seatbelt and a lap bar. The seat belts can vary on size wise, because sometimes Steph can sit in a seat one day and fit the seat belt perfectly fine. Other days she can sit in a different seat and it can be a bit slightly tighter. So sometimes it can depend on which seat you sit in to how much give that seat belt has. But most of the time it is easy to clip it in. And obviously the lap bar, as long as it's clicked down once, you're good to go. When it comes to Icon, it has kind of two restraint systems in a way, because you've got your main restraint that you pull down over yourself that sits around your legs and your lower stomach, but it also has a seatbelt that you've got to clip into place onto that restraint. So Steph always pulls it to its fullest length, and she sits into the seat and she tries to push herself as far back into that seat as possible. Sometimes she uses the seat in front of her and pushes her feet onto it to push herself right back and pushes herself down. And the bars on the side of the restraint as well, sometimes if you push yourself on them, it helps to push the restraint down a bit more to get that seatbelt clipped in. The back row 2 seats are slightly bigger, so if you do need that extra bit of space, by all means use them bigger seats. Also, with Icon, we've found that if you have quite a few layers on, taking maybe 1 or 2 layers, however many layers you've got on, taking them extra layers off can make the difference sometimes of getting on and not getting on the ride. With Infusion, it's an over-shoulder restraint, but it's quite bulky, so it's kind of hard in a way to say whether a plus size person would fit on the ride or not, because it depends on where and how your body shape is. Because even just tall people in general struggle with this sometimes because of the restraint. It's quite padded on the shoulders as well, so obviously the bigger your shoulders are, that can also affect how you fit into this seat and into the restraint, because you've also got a seatbelt like Icon to clip onto the restraint itself. So obviously if you can't get it clipped in, then unfortunately you won't be able to ride. But as long as you can get that seatbelt clipped in, you're good to go.
When it comes to the Derby Racer and the Fly Machines, neither of them have a restraint. It's the case of either getting on the horse or onto the spaceship on the Fly Machine.
When it comes to Ice Blast, it's just a simple over-the-shoulder restraint, and like Icon and Infusion, you've got a seatbelt that needs to clip into that main restraint. With it being over the shoulders, it's a bit more restrictive than most of the rides at Blackpool, because this is normally the only ride that Steph can't get on, but today, thankfully, she somehow managed to get onto it. So it is always worth trying. We always say this, that it's always worth trying, even if, like, when you go to parks such as Alton Towers that have got test seats, it's always worth trying to go on to the ride and obviously just let the ride staff know that you might not. And obviously, if you've ever got any concerns, to make sure you communicate with the ride staff, because obviously that is what they are there to do.
That's the end of our video here today at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
To see if it's plus size friendly.
And I can say it is.
Yeah, 100% definitely would, just without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say compared to Alton Towers experience, so if you've not checked that video out, please go check it out.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the description. Yeah, I'd say this park is much more giving for the plus size guests.
Yeah.
I've been able to get on every single ride in the park, so yeah.
Even though we haven't managed to be able to get some footage of some of them, but we'll try and get some pictures from like old times we've been on it, or we'll try and figure something out so you can kind of see how the restraint is sat on Steph. But most of the rides we have managed to get some footage of for you.
And also, don't ever be afraid to ask the ride ops to assist you if you need the assistance of getting in, if you want them to help you push the restraints down or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they're here for. It's been a fantastic day. A special shout out to the Ice Blast team.
Yeah.
The lady that worked on there was absolutely lovely.
She was very happy that you finally fit on, didn't you? Because you haven't been able to fit on Ice Blast for a while, and we thought today we'll show you that.
Maybe I could.
Because we weren't quite sure if she could or not, so we thought we'd show you, because that was potentially going to be the only ride she didn't fit on, and obviously she then managed to fit on. So the woman that worked on Ice Blast was like, "Oh, I'm very happy for you."
Happy.
Which obviously is what you want when you're trying to come on rides.
Definitely. So also, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Thanks for watching,
and we'll see you next time. Bye.